Okay, here we go. And stops. Reverse the wires. And go again. And I've got to dress those welds a little tiny bit, and I'm going to paint them with the toolbox paint that's kind of bumpy and gray. And anyway, what I ended up finding, this is after finally going to the internet and asking for someone to measure their regulators. I found out some of the problems. First off, I got these little El Cheapo copies of the power window motors, but as you can tell, they're all plastic. Even there's no threads for the bolts, so I actually tapped these. I could put a nut on them if I needed to, but this is working fine. But I found out that one of the big problems I had is it was jumping the gear on either end. And when I watched it, I could see there was a big hole here instead of this washer, and the motor was deflecting. Once I welded a washer in here, that stopped happening. So then I have ended up having to clearance the regulators, because for a convertible you apparently need more room in here. So you can see where I've done that on each end, where the gear goes out past. I have to trial fit it in the car and see if this clearances, but a couple of things are out of the way. For instance, from here to here was 3.75 inches at the furthest point, because there's a slot. I didn't know that. I had it 1/4 of an inch off, and apparently that made some difference. Also from here, it was 1.36 inches from here to here. And then I had, one of the guys was good enough to give me this angle. So I now have all the specs to take a manual regulator and convert it to power. I also have a lot of drawings, and we'll see what these clearances do. And at the final, in the end, I will trace these so that we have repeatable results. Now, this clearance here and this clearance here may not need to be done on a coupe, but apparently it needs to be done on a convertible. So that's all I've got for now. All right, so I'm ready to put the regulator in the car, but what I was having happen was that it was jumping off the gear on either end, and I ended up having to make the last tooth higher and square to stop it, and I've got it now where it seems to be doing it. Now, I actually had it stop, and then I greased everything up and it started again. Now here's how you test it out of the car. It's just a matter of hot and cold switched, hot and ground switched. So I've got a battery box here. And it's working perfect, even greased up. So, all right, here we are again. I have now added a little more height to the tooth on either end. Now, just to tell you, save you a lot of grief, I found that if I suspend this gear with the tooth on top, it works way better. If you try to add to these teeth with them laying down, once that molten red metal gets going, it all sags. And it's really hard to get it to pile up on top. And I've got it where it cleared. And then I want to add this fact. These were the springs that came with the D100 regulators. This is the one that came with the little manual regulators. After deciding, I decided I was going to go with these springs, but I can't tell you how many cars I've gone into, E-bodies, B-bodies, and found these springs laying up in the quarters or the doors where they've fallen off. So I actually tack welded the top of the stud. The stud is actually steel, so I tack welded that in place. And now I'm going to go through showing you how this works. See, it wraps up that spring and gets tighter, which helps raise the window. So then basically it unwinds when it goes down, releases some of the pressure, and makes it easier. So at this point, the window would be in the highest position closed. So now, to install it in the car, which is what I'm going to do next, I found that putting the regulator in the half down position lets it slide into the door. A little bit too far. Probably wouldn't make any difference, but there, that's exactly right. So what this does is allows you to put this swing arm like that. And now I have found, and I've taken this out so many times, just unbelievable. I have found that taking the motor off in the door is real easy. You can pull this out before you take the regulator out, and it comes out super easy. And now I'm going to show you how to get this in the door. So signing off for now.